Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I am so excited you're tuning in today because we are diving headfirst into one of the absolute coolest frontiers in tech right now, multi-agent AI architectures. Building a system where multiple AI agents actually collaborate is fascinating, but let's be real, with so many different approaches out there, figuring out how to structure these systems can feel totally overwhelming. Today, we're cutting through all that noise. We're going to look under the hood of how these systems are built and compare the underlying philosophies so you can figure out the exact right fit for your next project. Here's our game plan for today. We'll start by reframing the framework question entirely. Then we'll look at three distinct philosophies: explicit graphs, conversational agents, and role-based execution. After that, we'll build a visual decision guide, and finally, we'll test all three of those philosophies on one concrete task. All right, part one, the framework question reframed. So if you've spent literally any time poking around multi-agent systems, you've probably asked or been asked this exact question: which agent framework is actually the best? It's a supernatural starting point, right? But I'm going to go ahead and suggest that this is actually the totally wrong question to be asking. Here's why we need to reframe this. Notice that raw capability is completely crossed out. That's because these frameworks, they really aren't competing on raw intelligence. The heavy cognitive lifting, the actual reasoning and thinking, is being done by the underlying large language models, which you can basically plug into any architecture you want. Instead, look at the highlighted text. They are competing on design philosophy. It's all about the massive trade-off between upfront structure and emergent flexibility. It really boils down to this: how much strict control do you want to hard code into the system before hitting run, versus how much freedom are you willing to give your AI agents to just figure things out on the fly? Moving right along to part two, philosophy one, explicit graphs. This brings us perfectly to our first architectural lens. Think of explicit graphs like laying down thick, indestructible train tracks before you ever fire up the engine. As you can see, this is a highly predictable plan then execute model. The state, the actual data, is explicitly passed between very distinct nodes, from a planner to an executor and out to specialized tools. The workflow here is modeled as a strict state machine. Every single possible transition, conditional edge, and fallback loop, it's all completely mapped out ahead of time. The AI isn't deciding the overall workflow at all. The rigid graph logic manages the transitions, and the AI is literally just used to do the work inside those little boxes. So, what's the payoff for building all those tracks? Well, your biggest win is absolute observability. You get maximum control and a totally deterministic flow. Because there's a centralized state, you know exactly what the system knows at any given second. This is absolutely crucial for mission-critical stuff. Think financial transactions or strict data pipelines, where the AI absolutely cannot go off script. But there's a catch, and it's a big one: a massive upfront engineering cost. You have to anticipate and meticulously design the entire shape of the workflow before you even get started. Let's jump to part three, philosophy two, conversational agents. Now, let's completely shift gears. If explicit graphs are rigid train tracks, conversational agents are basically a dynamic, open-ended town hall debate. Instead of a central state machine shoving data down a track, we have distinct agents passing messages in structured but highly emergent conversation patterns. You've got specialized agents, each holding their own specific tools, just reacting to each other in a chat interface. The flow of control, it's entirely conversation-driven. An agent decides who to talk to next based strictly on the messages it receives. They're reading, reacting, and critiquing each other in real time. The trade-offs here are basically the polar opposite of the graph approach. You're getting a message-driven system with totally decentralized coordination. That means you get exceptional flexibility for genuinely open-ended tasks. Since the agents are actively debating, you'll often see these brilliant, unexpected problem-solving strategies emerge that you never could have hard-coded yourself. But the cost? Well, it can be messy. Honestly, it can sometimes feel like a chaotic group text. It's inherently way less predictable. And since the system relies on LLMs parsing all that conversational context to figure out what to do next, it can be pretty latency sensitive. And occasionally, agents can just get stuck in endless conversational loops. All right, part four, philosophy three, role-based execution. Now, let's look at a philosophy that tries to find a middle ground. Think of role-based execution as a highly structured corporate assembly line. By definition, this is an architecture where specialized agents are organized around clearly defined identities, specific goals, and constrained tools to execute delegated tasks. In this setup, you typically have a manager or orchestrator agent that looks at a prompt and explicitly hands out tasks to worker agents based on their roles. So instead of an open town hall debate, it's very top-down. The researcher goes and researches, brings it back, and then the writer writes. When we look at the trade-offs, this approach really bridges a major gap. It gives you incredibly fast setup for well-understood, standard collaborative patterns. You also get some really strong structural enforcement of the principle of least privilege, meaning your writer agent literally cannot access the search tools, which is fantastic for security. It's super scalable for team-based task delegation. But the downside is that while you dictate the roles, you lose that strict, step-by-step routing control you get with an explicit graph. The agents still have autonomy within their own little bubble, so you can't guarantee exactly how a researcher will find the answer, only that it's their job to bring one back. Moving on to part 5, the visual decision guide. Okay, so we've got these 3 totally distinct philosophies. How do you actually pick one? The secret is matching your project's fundamental requirement to the architecture's core strength. If you know the exact shape of your workflow upfront, like it has strict dependencies, needs auditable steps, and demands predictability, you really need an explicit graph. If you're tackling something genuinely open-ended, like complex coding or brainstorming, the conversational philosophy is going to give you that beautiful emergent flexibility. And if you just need to quickly deploy a fast, well-understood pattern, like a standard research and summarize pipeline, the role-based philosophy is going to give you that quick setup and clean delegation. Seriously, you might want to take a mental screenshot of this matrix. It is super helpful. And finally, part 6, 3 philosophies, 1 task. To really lock this in, let's put our new framework to the test by pushing a single real-world scenario through all 3 of these philosophies. Here's our task. We need the AI system to research a complex topic, audit the sources for factuality, and then synthesize a final written report. It's a classic multi-step knowledge task. Let's see exactly how each philosophy handles it. First up, execution 1, using an explicit graph. Here, we don't just tell the AI to figure it out. We literally draw a map for it. We predefine specific, locked-in nodes for search, audit, and write. A structured state object moves sequentially right through these nodes. Crucially, we write hard-coded logic that basically says, hey, if the audit node returns a fail state, route the data all the way back to the search node. The AI is just executing the logic inside its designated box. It's rigid, yes, but it is perfectly observable. If the process breaks, you know exactly which node failed. Now let's look at execution 2, the conversational approach. Notice there are no tracks here at all. The researcher agent just drops its raw findings into a shared chat room. A critic agent reads that chat, notices a weak source, and actually replies, hey, these sources aren't great, find better ones. They just debate back and forth until the critic is happy. Only when consensus is reached in the chat does the writer agent jump in to synthesize the final report. It's definitely messier, and it burns through a lot of tokens reading that chat history, but wow, is it highly adaptable to nuance. Lastly, execution 3, the role-based approach. In this setup, a top-level manager agent gets the prompt and immediately starts delegating subgoals. It tells the researcher role to go fetch the data. That researcher runs totally independently and hands the finalized data back up to the manager. The manager then passes it down the line to the writer role. There's no open debate, and there's no hard-coded node map. It relies entirely on the manager's intelligence to coordinate its specialists. It gets the job done efficiently and is incredibly fast to deploy. Whichever framework you pick, one design decision matters no matter what. When an agent should stop and ask a human first. That's next.